You know, men want traditional women, but they forget that traditional men paid all the bills, fixed things around the house, and never asked that question, what do you bring to the table? Never asked that question. Now, let me be clear. In a literal sense, the question is not problematic. In a literal sense, just simply how will you contribute to the relationship? But we all know when dudes are asking that, what they're trying to assess is, are you going to help me provide? Are you going to help me do the role I'm supposed to do while allowing me to hold you to the expectation of old? I saw a girl on TikTok that said, and it was the truest thing. She said, these days men want submissive providers. That's the problem with what do you bring to the table? That man is looking for a submissive provider. You can't ask for a traditional woman and you're not bringing traditional effort. You're not bringing traditional value. You can't ask for a woman that's going to cook like your grandma and, you know, do all this stuff around the house and make sure everything is good there, but then clean and also work the exact same 12-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts that you working. Y'all tell me if that makes sense. That's the problem. That's the problem I see with this. The mentality of what do you bring to the table? It's not that men shouldn't be looking for a woman that wants to be a contributor. They try to make that like that's the issue. But what they really want to do is they want to minimize the issue, the value that they know they're going to ask of you. You're going to be the one that's in charge of the kids. You're going to be the one that's in charge of the cooking and cleaning. And then try to like secretly add on part of what they're expected to do. They want a 1950s wife with 2025 bills. Again, they want you cooking like they mama. They want you cleaning like Cinderella. They want you to be submitting like biblical scripture says to. But then they want to split rent 50-50. You got to maintain your career. You got to keep yourself Instagram model ready. They're all nostalgic for traditional women, but they're allergic to traditional responsibilities of a man. Tell me how that worked. Tell me how they work. Because this is what they are forgetting. Traditional men never asked, what do you bring to the table? They built the table, set it, paid for everything on it. So you as a man, you can't cherry pick tradition like it's some kind of buffet where you only take what benefits you and leave the responsibilities on the plate. You got to make up your mind. Again, I want to be clear because everybody like to talk about this, but truthfully, I don't have a problem with two people contributing to the responsibilities and needs of the home, etc., but heavy on the two people contributing. Y'all both work the exact same hours. Y'all both come home tired, but then when it's time to be at home, you still expected to be a woman. You still expected to play that role 100%. Ain't nobody helping you. And let me go ahead and say this. As a woman, if you ever been expected to behave in the home like a wife and contribute and do all the things like a wife, but you were treated like a placeholder, you're just like the thousands of women who left 5-star reviews on my book, Don't Forget Your Crown, on Amazon. It's $30 on there right now. But they used that book. They used that book to restore the version of themselves that ever tolerated a man that wanted to go half on what he's supposed to do while she contributed 100% of what she was doing. That's what I love. Comment crown if you want it. I'll send it to you free. You ain't even got to go over there and get it. Comment the word crown. Comment the word crown if you want that book. Yes. The thing I love about the readers of Don't Forget Your Crown is it was exactly who I wrote it for, which was the women who wanted to stop auditioning for roles in a man's life that she already came in overqualifying for. That's why I wrote the book. But again, I'll gift it to you for free. Just comment the word crown and it's yours. But back to what I was saying. Because you know they're going to get mad at me for saying this. Y'all know dudes love to act like it's a different day. It's a different society. We need two providers in the household. Okay, cool. I get it. Things are a little bit more expensive. Got inflation and whatnot. But hey, bro, you can't want a traditional woman who cooks and cleans while also needing her to work full time because you can't afford tradition. Having a submissive housewife, that is a rich man's sport. Like, if we being real, that's a rich man's sport. I'm not saying because you don't got, millions of dollars or six figures in your account, that means you can't have a woman that does some of these things. But if you're going to put all of that weight on her, you have to be able to afford to. You got to be able to afford for that to be the case and her not to be burnt out. Because truth be told, a lot of even the traditional relationships were set upon survival. But now since women can work on their own, they're not going for just survival with you. So if you can't exceed what they would get on their own in terms of their quality of life, you don't need to be trying to insert them into any type of role that's going to downgrade their life. Don't come in saying, okay, you were paying your own bills. You were taking care of your hair, nails, wax. You were taking care of any and all things, personal hygiene wise, upkeep wise. You were going on trips. You were shopping. Every season, you got a whole new closet. But come into this relationship and just get by on the bills that I pay, but take on all the labor, clean up behind me, feed me, and listen to everything I tell you to do. That is a horrible deal. That is a horrible deal. Even traditional women were financially supported. Modern traditional men, y'all want a maid who pays half. Y'all want a maid who pays half. It's not the part. My problem when I hear this, it's not even the part where men are saying, hey, I would need some financial help. It's that load doesn't translate at the house. The load that comes off of him to be the sole provider doesn't come off of her when it comes to at home being the sole nurturer, housekeeper, cook, cleaner, etc. And y'all be having the same expectations sexually? You want this woman to be able to do everything she would normally do if she was a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife, working all them hours, taking care of the home, cleaning your dirty drawers, and still being sexually available to you. That is the most unrealistic thing I've ever heard of. You want that dinner on the table whenever you get home, but you getting home the same time your woman is getting home from her job. You want your laundry done, but you can't afford the rent by yourself. You got dreams of a woman who's always wearing an apron, but you need her wearing business attire. Yeah. To earn money. The two don't go together. Kim Pop said, I'm just not playing house anymore. And you got to be careful with that. There's always a right and a wrong way to do everything. It's one thing when you and that man maybe started living together, but there's a clear, tangible timeline to how things are supposed to progress. There is less load on you. But a lot of times, and I've talked about this before, a lot of modern day providers, not the traditional ones, the modern day providers, that's not how they thinking. That's not how they thinking at all. At best, they want to pay all the bills, but they want to downgrade your lifestyle and have all the control over you. At worst, they don't want to pay half the bills, but they want you to do 100% of the housework and all the things that a woman's supposed to do. They're not willing to go 50-50 on the rest of the upkeep of life that y'all are supposed to be doing together. Traditional men brought home the bacon. It is what it is. But modern day men, they want you to buy it, cook it, and serve it with a smile. Men of old, they were providers. But today, a lot of men, they want partners who both provide and perform all the traditional roles. The math ain't mathing. When a woman got to do double duty, y'all think granddaddy asked grandmama to pay for the groceries? No. He handed her housekeeping money. He handed her the money to go down to the store and get whatever was needed for the home. And she was the one that managed how that was going to look. That's what happened. He didn't expect her to change her own oil. He didn't expect her to work a 9 to 5 and still come home and do everything in the house and make sure everything was prepped and everything was thawed out. And no, clean up the house, run behind kids. No. Modern day men, they want the benefits of a traditional wife, but they don't want the traditional husband's bank account. They want 1950s service on a 2025 split bill budget. And I'll be the first to tell you, yes, cost of living is different these days. Okay, cool. Expectations need to be different then too. If any man has said, hey, look, I got realistic expectations because the average home costs him about $400,000. All right. Do you have realistic expectations of what that woman cannot do if she's working just as hard as you? If she's working 8, 9 hours, 10 hours, how is she supposed to come home with a full tank of gas mentally and emotionally to take care of everything when it comes to food, everything when it comes to the household chores, and be sexually available to you every single night? Y'all holding women to standards that was set by your porn addiction. That's what you're doing. You holding a woman to standards set by your porn addiction when you was hoeing out in the streets and you had a rotation of 4 or 5 of them. But you wanted to get in a relationship because it was cheaper for you. You see, whenever you dating a woman, you courting a woman, you got to put forth some money. You trying to impress her. You trying to be number one, really the only one on her roster. You want it all to yourself. But then when you get in a relationship, you want that bottomless vagina in-house, a downgraded quality of life, less say so, more workload. Keep it real. If I'm speaking facts, y'all tell me I'm speaking facts. Oh, I see the trolls. I don't give a damn about them trolls. Matter of fact, if anything that I'm saying is true right now, hit the share button. Let's piss some more people off. You know, they said I was supposed to be canceled a long time ago. This ain't what cancel look like. But keep it real. Dude asking you, what do you bring to the table? Man, come on. Whole time y'all sitting at the IKEA table assembled by you because he don't even know how to use a screwdriver. Traditional men were at least handy. Modern men, they need YouTube tutorials to hang a picture. And again, I'm not mad at this nearly as much as I am all the expectations that are still on y'all. I talked about this a long time ago. We always say as men that y'all expectations are so unrealistic of us. Y'all want us to be a certain height. Y'all want us to make 6 figures. Y'all don't look this good, but you want this kind of man, whatever. But I don't think nothing is more unrealistic than asking a woman to go out here work just as hard, and then we come and kick our feet up like our money holds higher priority in the home, and she take over everything else. That woman still got to submit to a boss at work, but you want her to submit to you in a... If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. Elizabeth Lewis said, how do I message you private? I only check messages in my inner circle. You can message me there. And it's free, by the way. If you want to try it out free, comment the word crown. That's what I was saying. That comes with my books for free. That's how you can message me. That's why I respond. Traditional men protected. Traditional men provided. Modern men want to be protected from their responsibilities while you provide. How that go together? Julie, thank you for sharing. Yeah, if you end up sharing, comment the word share so I can shout you out. Danny Lowe, thank you for sharing. They've confused tradition with convenience. They want the perks of patriarchy without the pressure. Traditional men handle all finances, made all major decisions. They bore all economic pressure, ups and downs, all the volatility. I'm not saying it was sweet. I'm not saying there was no lavish living like that, at least for the average American family. But all of that stress, that was all something the man took on. Modern men want 50-50 on bills, but 100-0 on household labor. Those two do not go together. They want equal financial contribution, but traditional one-sided servitude in the home. Erica, Angela, Hendrick, Erica Murray, thank you for sharing. That man, he wants submission from a woman who makes her own money. Think about that now. He wants submission from a woman who makes her own money. But traditional submission came with traditional security. You can't demand CEO respect with intern provisions. Brother, you get mad at me all you want to. You can't whoop me. You can't whoop me. Like I said, hit the share button. Traditional wives submitted because traditional husbands carried 100% of the financial burden, the legal responsibilities, and the family protection. She was under his protection because she was under his provision. And of course, a man can't protect or provide nothing for somebody who won't listen. So the authority was a right, a byproduct of the man's responsibility to do for the woman, to protect the woman. That made sense. There are some women these days who don't like that. But when you're talking to a woman who still believes in gender roles to any extent, she ain't gonna have a problem with that. As long as you're doing it in a way that protects both of y'all best interests. But as a man, you can't want decision-making power without provision power. You can't try to be the head while the woman is holding up half the body. Traditional authority came with traditional accountability. So where's yours? Yes, I saw somebody ask that. Don't forget your crowd. That's my best-selling book. It is on Amazon. I just didn't post the Amazon link because I'll literally send it to you free. Just comment the word crown. And unless you want to pay $30, you can go on Amazon and search it. Don't forget your crown. It's on there. But I'll send it to you free. If that's cool with you, just comment the word crown and I got you. But let me just wrap up what I'm saying, man. Traditional men, we didn't even get to this. Traditional men courted for months, married pretty quick. Modern men want all the instant benefits with no commitment. Now, full transparency, I'm all for taking your time to get to know somebody. I think marriage, family, and I had to learn this the hard way. That is underrated how important of a commitment that is. So I'm all for you taking your time as a man or a woman to get to know who you're dealing with. You need 2-3 years, take you 2-3 years. I don't think it take too much longer than that. But you need a couple of years to go through certain seasons and establish a way that you're going to do things without the stakes being super high. Absolutely cool. But don't spend that time just trying to run through all the benefits of having that long-term commitment while you keep the door open so you can leave at a moment's notice. In fact, if we really being real about traditional men of yesteryears invested first. way before they got any returns or they expected any. But you can't want endless wife privileges on girlfriend agreements. There's got to be at least a timetable, something tangible. You can't have it both ways. That's what it comes down to. It is the contradiction of our expectations. If you are a man and them bills is too much for you to handle by yourself, have zero shame in letting that woman help you, requiring that that woman helps you. I don't want y'all to take something different from what I'm saying. However, if you are a man and you know you cannot handle them bills by yourself, and that woman is going to start helping you with them bills, you need to lighten that load at the crib. You gotta be the one busting them suds. You gotta be the one taking certain days off her hands when it comes to the children. You gotta be the one getting up in the morning to get them ready for school and getting them to bed at night. You gotta be the one tapping in. She can't be the one by herself holding down everything at the house, inside the home, and then go outside the home and help you hold down half. That's the part that we need to get clear. That's the part we need to get clear. As a man, if you can't afford for that woman to stay at home, you can't expect her to run the home as if she's at home constantly. Traditional women were housewives. Y'all expecting that woman to be house everything. Y'all expecting that woman to be house everything. So again, if you gotta have half and half being paid, I'm not one of those that say a woman should sit back and do absolutely nothing. I do believe in teamwork, partnership, and the roles gonna look different for everybody. Partnership gonna look different for everybody. Cool. But it should never look like y'all doing equal work, but she the one that's burnt out. She the one that's stretched thin. She the one that's by herself whenever she say, baby, I'm tired tonight. Can you order food, cook food? And you feel like, well, that's a woman's job. Baby, I'm not able to have sex more than 2-3 times in a week with the way the schedule looking, how I'm working. Well, you supposed to be a woman. You supposed to never tell me no. You expect that woman to get up 2-3 o'clock in the morning, go make you a sandwich and turn over and do nasty things to you, but she got to get up at 6-7 o'clock just the same way you do. And be mad when women out here saying, I got a super high standard on money. You got to make X amount of dollars. Because when a man make a certain level of income, these ain't problems. If we being real, I'm all against men being measured strictly by our money. Okay. I'm not broke by a long shot. And I still don't like the concept of us being measured by our money. If you're a brother and you listen to this at some point, I am on your side. However, wanting a woman that's going to be available to you every day sexually, that's going to have capacity to respond with affection and softness and kindness 99% of the time, that's going to have food ready for you morning, noon, and night, house cleaned, and the kids properly taken care of, boy, that is a rich man's sport. So if that ain't the sport you qualify for, you need to go and play a different game. This is part of the reason why I wrote Don't Forget Your Crown. Out of all 15 of my books, this is the best-selling one for this reason. I wrote it for women who are tired of being asked to perform tradition while splitting modern responsibilities, modern bills. Most women I've come across can do the modern thing. Now, most women I've come across can go get a check now. Y'all tell me if you see women around here, most times they just can't go get no money. I think if you take the average group of 10 black women, white women, Asian women, Hispanic women, whatever you want to take, they making good money. They making just as much, if not more, than their counterparts, male counterparts. Most times. Most women can go get that check, but they hold on now, y'all. We're going to go get the check and we got to come back and chase kids? Yes, comment the word crown. I'll send you the book for free. If you want to go on Amazon and get the book, and it's a really good book. It's worth every dime, by the way. If you want to pay the $30, it's worth it. That's why it has, I think, 4.6 stars out of 5 average with over 4,000 reviews. It's much so worth it, according to the reviews. But I'll give it to you free. If you like free stuff, if you like free audiobooks, ebooks, it'll be inside of my inner circle community, my private community. No contract, no commitment, cancel anytime. But you can keep the books forever. So if that sounds fair, comment the word crown and I got you. For free. But moral of the story is this, man. That man can't be over there asking for grandma cooking, but he needs you to cover the grocery bill. And it's on you what role you're going to play. If ultimately the goal is teamwork and partnership, there ain't nothing partnership about asking a woman to do half of your job while 100% of her job and going to sleep, waking up every day with 0% of the security of the role she's asked to play. She gonna show up to work, get less of a paycheck and none of the benefits. Y'all be sitting there shocked when that woman decides to resign. All right. Be mad at me all you want to. But if you ain't mad at me and you know what I said was true, find a little arrow down here, hit the share button. I don't even want to say a name out loud, but I see your comment. Hit the share button. Piss some more people off. That's cool. I'm your internet big bro. You know I got your back. And again, if you thought this conversation was on point, look, the reviews speak for themselves. But you could check out my book, Don't Forget Your Crown, for free today. Comment the word crown and I'll send it to you. Holla at y'all lady, y'all be good.